The first step in the procurement process is to create a material requisition. A material requisition or an MR is a demand from the site for a particular material to be required for project execution. So let's log in as a user who typically is a site user. In order to create a material requisition, go to the SCM menu and click on Material Requisition. Towards the bottom of the screen, there is a button called Add MR. Click on that. Then choose the job for which you want to create the MR. Now, here only those jobs that this particular user has the rights to access will be displayed in the drop-down. Choose the job and click on Select. On the left side, material that has been previously budgeted will show up. For each material, there is a quantity that is budgeted, a rate for the budget, and the quantity of that budget that is currently available. So as you consume material or as you add material to the material requisition, the amount or the quantity of the available budget will keep on decreasing. Now, budgets can be item-wise or group-wise, and this the process of creating a budget is part of the estimation stage that is usually part of the planning activity. So whatever estimate that has been marked as budget that has been created as part of the planning stage will be displayed in the budgeted items area for the MR. So here, let's say I want to create an MR for cement. So cement, originally the budget had 10,000 bags of cement, and the quantity that is available for the budget is 9984. What that means is we've already created requisitions for 16 bags of budget previously. So let's just add that here. So we'll click on that. And when we click on it, the item is added into the MR. By default, the rate that is used is the rate that was there in the budget. If I want to change that, I can do that here. By default, the quantity of the item that is added to the MR is 1 unit. So if I want to add more, I can change that to 2 units and click on Save, and it becomes 2 units. Now, it's important to understand that the UOM that is being displayed here, or the unit of measure, is the stocking unit of measure. So every material has 2 units, a purchase UOM and a stocking UOM. So the stocking UOM is typically used for all activities in Omni. The purchase UOM is used only for placing a purchase order. Now, let's say I put in this is a new MR for G15 job. I click on that. Now, if I wanted to, I could add a couple more items into the MR. So let's add this bricks. Again, by default, only 1 is added. So I can change that to 10. Click on Save. So this particular MR, I'm going to take 2 bags of cement and 10 cubic meters of brick. So one important thing to note is, as I add more and more items here in the MR that is being requisitioned, the available budget for that item keeps reducing. So if you remember, before I had added this item, the available quantity was 9984. Now, because I have added 2 to this MR, the available quantity of this item has come down to 9982. So if I'm satisfied with the items that are there in the MR, I can click on request approval. So when I click on request approval, a message goes out to the approving authority that there is an MR available for your approval at this point. So now let's log in as a user who has the rights to approve MRs for this particular job. So let's just use the admin user, because that's the user that we've got set up here. And when the admin user logs in, he'll go to the My Approvals tab, and he'll see that a material requisition has been requested by a site supervisor. If he wants to view it, he can click on the view icon here, and he can view the MR. And let's say I agree to this. This MR is acceptable. And the site supervisor who requested this material requisition will get an email telling him that his request has been approved. So let's log out, and we can see now. Let's log in as a site supervisor. And this was my request earlier. So I had requested a material requisition, and that was approved by the admin user. I can go in to the material requisition list and let's sort by the date of the MR. And this is the MR that I had created, and I can see it's approved. So I can view it. And this is the MR. And this was created by the site supervisor, and it was approved by the portal admin user. Now, after the MR has been approved, it can't be edited or deleted. However, if I wish to, I can cancel the MR. Now, if I cancel the MR, the effect of the MR is removed, so it can't be used for the next stage of the material procurement process, which is the creation of the RFQ.